This conference will now be recorded.
So, so two-dimensional arrays. So whenever we talk about two-dimensional arrays, we are going to talk about the arrays. The two-dimensional arrays are the arrays with the rows and columns. So, so we are talking about the two-dimensional arrays. Two-dimensional arrays. So when I'm talking about two-dimensional arrays, so we look at the arrays with one to many rows and one to many columns. One to many rows and one to many columns. So whenever we are looking at the two-dimensional, so the two-dimensional arrays are the arrays with one to many rows and one to many columns. Okay, so what we are looking at here, one to many rows and one to many columns. One second. Okay, so what we are trying to understand here, so we will have something like, now for example, if you see here, so let's say we have uh, this is something like, okay, one second. So let's say this is the a array called ARR. Okay, so in this we have one, two, three, four rows. Okay, so four rows and one, two, three, four, five columns. Okay, so four rows and five columns. Okay, so that is how we declare an array. Okay, so whenever we are talking about a two-dimensional array, so two-dimensional array is nothing but the array with multiple rows. Okay, so one to many rows and one to many columns. Okay. So what we are looking at here basically the collection of rows and columns, like a table basically. Okay. So whenever we are talking about this, we say that so this is going to be something like zeroth row, first row, second row, and third row. And this is zeroth column, first column, second column, third column, and fourth column. So these are columns and these are rows. Okay, and these are called cells basically. Okay, so these are called cells. So here if you observe, we have four rows and five columns. So which will accommodate 20 elements. Which will accommodate 20 elements. Okay. So in simple words, if I say in simple terms, we may have m rows and n columns. We may have n rows and n columns, allowing m into n number of elements. M into n number of elements. M into n number of elements, m into n number of elements, m into n number of elements, and the will be will be, or I should say the row index will be 0 to m minus 1, and the column index will be 0 to m minus 1. Okay, so 0 to n minus 1. So what we are talking about here? So we are talking about, in simple terms, we may have m rows and n columns. Okay, so we may have m rows and n columns. So what basically I'm talking about here? So suppose if there are 2 by 3. Okay, so if there are 2 by 3, so let's say this is m and this is m. So we will have 0, 1, and we will have 0, 1, 2. So like this, okay. So we will be having something like this. So m and n in the sense, so we can have 0, 1, 2, 3, and so on up to m minus 1, and 0, 1, 2, 3, and so on up to n minus 1. So like this, if you look at the elements, so the elements arrangement will be like this. Okay. So it all depends on the number of elements basically. It all depends on the number of elements literally. Okay, so that's how you are looking at the things. Okay, so in simple terms, we have m rows and n columns. Okay, allowing m by n number of elements, and the row index will be 0 to m minus 1, and the column index will be 0 to m minus 1. So if there is so 5 rows and 2 columns. Okay, so 5 rows and 2 columns in the sense. So we will have something like 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and we will have 0 and 1. So in this way, you are looking at the number of rows and columns. So that's how you look at the things. Okay. So now, when I'm talking about this two-dimensional array, so two-dimensional array means, so we have number of rows and number of columns, as I told you. In Java, we can create the 2D array. So you can generally call it as 2D arrays also. So 2D arrays using the following notations. So what we are going to do here? We are going to work with the two-dimensional arrays using the following notation. So first notation is int, or I can say data type. Data type, variable name, and here this time you can have double square brackets. So you can have double square brackets, and here you can provide row wise elements. Row 1, okay. So row 1, row 2, like this. So you can provide the elements row wise. Okay, so row 2, row 3, like this. So you can provide. Okay, so row 3 and so on. Okay, so in this way you can give the elements row wise. Okay, so you can provide the elements row wise. So this is one style. So here elements can be given by the, user directly, by the programmer. So second one, so we'll say data type, variable name. So we'll give double square brackets here. Okay, so and you can say is equal to new data type Okay, so here you can give the row size and here you can give the column size. Okay, so here you can give the column size. Okay, so here elements are provided by the user. Elements are provided by the program. Elements are provided by the program. So here default elements with reference to the data type. Okay, so default elements with reference to the data type. With reference to the data. So here default elements with reference to the data type are taken. Okay. So element, how many number of elements will be taken? Row size into column size like that. Okay. Now let's have the examples. Okay. So first one we will have. Okay. So we can have an array. So where we develop the elements row wise. Okay. So int array, you can put the square brackets is equal to. So you can provide the elements row wise as I told you. Now let's say we have decided to have the values row wise. Okay. So we can say something like first row. So first row, second row. So we decided that we will have four rows. Okay. So we decided that we will have four rows and each row will have three values. So 4 comma 5 comma 9. Okay, so 4 comma 5 comma 9, 2 comma 6 comma 3, 1 comma 8 comma 7, and here you can have. So here you can have something like 8 comma 0 comma 8 comma 0 comma 5. Okay, so 8 comma 0 comma 5. Okay, so this is my array now. Okay, so when you look at this array, so what you are looking at, you are looking at zeroth row, first row, second row, and the third row. Of course, okay. So in this way, you can look at those elements. Okay, so you can look at those elements. So what are the elements that you can uh, look at? So you can look at. Okay, so what you can look at here? So you can look at these elements to be. So these elements to be arranged in row column fashion. So where you can observe. Okay, so 4, 5, 9, 2, 6, 3, 1, 8, 7, 8, 0, 5. So this is 0, 1, 2, 3, and this is 0, 1, and 2. So in this way, you are looking at the array. Okay, so this is the array basically. So array, zeroth row, first row, second row, third row. So zeroth column, first column, second column. Okay. So in that way, you are looking at the array of elements. Okay. Now, how we can access the elements of the array. So accessing the elements of the array. So if we want to access the elements of the array, what we are going to look at now. So we are going to look at array name. Here you will have row index and you can give the column index. So row index and you can give the column index. Now for example, if I want this particular element, If I want this particular element, so I will say 0 and 1. Okay, so array name 0 and 1. Okay, so in that way I can say. Now, for example, if I am saying system.out.println array name row. So what is the row here? 0th row and 0th row and first column. Okay, so 0th row and first column. So randomly we will pick the values. So now suppose if you want this file, okay, so if you want this file, so you can say 0, 1, 2, 3, and you can say 2. Okay, you can say 2. So in that way, you are going to access the individual elements. So this file and this file. Okay, so 5 here and here also 5. Okay, so what exactly we are looking at here? So we are looking at the elements. So we are looking at the elements accessing from the array. Okay, so literally what we are talking about? We are talking about array. Okay, so 0, 5, 0 and 1. Sorry. So 0 and 1. So 0, 1, you are getting 5. Now array, this 5 means 3 and 2. Okay. In this way, you need to look at the accessing of the index. Okay, so accessing of the elements using the index. Okay. Now, for example, I want all the elements to be printed. Okay, so using, so we have a for loop and a for each loop. So both of them we can use and we can go for it. So using a for loop, using a for loop to access all the elements.
Multiplication churches, arrays
Yeah,
matrices like multiplication
I
multiplication possible like
multiplication possible. Yes, yes. Multiplication of two arrays possible.
okay.
Hmm. So using a for loop to access all the elements of the array. Okay. So when you have two arrays, you can multiply. So there are rules. I'll tell you what are they later. So
Okay.
okay. So using a for loop to access the elements. Okay. So basically you require two things here, row index and column index. So that is why what you have to do is you have to go for a nested for loop. Okay, so nested for loop. So what you have to do is, so you need to have nested loop. So the outer loop should recognize rows and the inner loop should recognize columns. Okay. So if you observe here, the logic is, so here if you observe the logic is the first element. Okay, so let's say I have 4, 5, 9, 2, 6, 3, 1, 8, 7, 8, 0, 5. Okay, so this is 0, 1, 2, 3, and this is 0, 1, 2. Okay. Now the basic idea here is first element is 0, 0. First element is 0, 0. So second element is 0, 1. So first we need to understand the pattern. Okay. So next is 0, 2. Okay. Next is 1, 0. Okay. So 1, 0. So next is 1, 1. Next is 1, 2. Okay. So similarly you have 2, 0, 2, 1, 2, 2. And next you have 3, 0, 3, 1, and 3, 2. So if you understand the pattern here, 0 appearing 3 times for 0, 1 and 2. Okay, so then 1 appearing 3 times for 0, 1 and 2. So 2 appearing 0, 1 and 2. So 3 appearing again 0, 1 and 2. So now the outer loop should go from 0 to 3 and the inner loop should go from 0 to 2. Okay, so each and every outer loop iteration will go with each and every inner loop iteration. Okay, so in that way it goes. So how we are going to take that? Okay, so what we need to say here is, so for int I is equal to 0, obviously you need to say, so for getting the rows length, what you need to say is you need to say array dot length. So array dot length will always gives you the rows length. Okay, so array dot length will always give you the rows length. So array dot length always gives you the rows length. So you need 3. So the 3 you will get it from here. Okay. In that way you can get it. Okay. And then I plus plus. So I plus plus means we are increasing the value of I. Okay. So 0, 1, 2, 3. For every I value, we should go into j. So int j is equal to 0. J should be less than array of I dot length. Okay, so array of I dot length. So why I'm saying this because now here this is generally called as, now for example again, if you observe, so suppose I have an array something like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 0, 1, 2 and this is 0, 1, 2, let's suppose. Now basically this is 0th array, this is first array, this is second array. So if you observe here, so 0th array, first array, second array. So this I will call it as array of 0, array of 1 and array of 2 also. So in the same way here you are using that only. So first time it will come with 0, second time 1, third time 2. So like this you are going to get that thing into consideration. Okay. So system.out.println array of I and j. So array of I and j. So here you can give some space to get that in array order. You can use this logic. Okay, so system.out.println. So you can say you can get the answer in the array logic. Okay, so how you are getting, I'll explain you once. So how you are getting this, I'll explain you once. Basically, so whenever we are talking about the array program, that is two-dimensional array for that matter. So what we are looking at here is, so we are looking at, okay, okay. So if you observe here, okay. So what we are saying here basically, so this 14, say 28 as usual. Okay. So now as you can see, so we have this 4, 5, 8, 9. So what I told you, so I told you that, so this is array of 0 can be pointed out to 4, 5, 9. So like this also you can look at it. Array of 1. So this will help you out in solving the logic. Okay, so array of 2 is going to be 1, 8 and 7. Array of 3 is going to be 8, 0 and 5. Okay, so in this way you are looking at it. So now once you say array dot length, okay, so I is equal to 0, I less than array dot length, in the sense, as I told you, array dot length will give you 4. Okay, so I less than 4, because it will give you the rows length. Okay, so it will give you the rows length automatically. So I 4. So I will take up the values from 0, 1, 2, and 3. 0, 1, 2, and 3. So I will take the values from 0, 1, 2, and 3. Okay. Now I enters. After I entering, so J will take from, so J will start from 0 and will take from array of I. So array of I, in the sense, array of 0 dot length. So what is array of 0 dot length? So it is going to be 3. So J will be taken from 0, 1, 2. So J will, for everything J will be taken for 0, 1, and 2. So 0, 1, and 2. Okay, so everything will be 0, 1, 2. So J will be taken for 0th time, it will take this, for 1 it will take this, for 2 it will take this, for 3 also it will take this. So now for example, if you are coming for 1 first time, so you came with I value 0 and J value 0. Okay. So array of ij, so as they are 0, 0, you can see 0, 0. So what is 0, 0 basically? 0, 0 is nothing but 4. Okay. Now let us give a space. So here there is space. Okay. Then again it goes back. So what is j plus plus means? J will value will be increased by 1. Then again you come inside. So 0 and 1. So what is 0 and 1 here? So it is going to be 5. Next again. So give some space. Okay, space is here. Then again j plus plus. J plus plus means this time j will be 2. So 2 means system order println 0, 2. So 0, 2 means you will get 9. So 0, 0, 0, 1, and 0, 2. So you are getting 9. Okay, and then space. Then again j plus plus. So j plus plus means it should be 3. But 3 is out of the way. Okay, so 3 less than 3 out of the way, right? So less than 3 out of the way. Then it will again go back to I plus plus. So I value will be increased by 1. So now first is 1, 0. So what is 1, 0? 1, 0 is going to be 2. But what we said here before going to the loop, we said you go to the next line. So now the control will be here. As the control is here, so it will print that 2 value. So then again 1, 1. Who is 1, 1? 6. Next 1, 2. 1, 2 is going to be 3. Okay, next space. Then again I value. So next, before going to I value, the cursor will come here because of this. Okay, so because of this, cursor will come here. Then we'll say 2, 0. So 2, 0 is how much? 1. 2, 1, 8. 2, 2. So obviously it is 7. Sorry. Sorry. So it is 7. Sorry. It is 7. So like that. So 3, 0. What is 3, 0? 3, 0 is 8. What is 3, 1? 0. So what is 3, 2? 5. Okay. So in this way, this is working, and this is here no ln is there. Here no ln is there, means it will get the value this. So in this way, you are going to have the for loop. Okay. So for loop. So then we also have something like for each loop. So we also have for each loop. So what is this for each loop? So in this, we access the elements. We access the elements without using the index. Without using the index. Okay. So we are going to access without using the index. So without index, how we can do it? Okay. Now what I need to do is I need to say, okay, so I'll go with the syntax. For here you have to say array data type, array data type, variable. So here you say something like this, colon, array name, okay, array name, and then go for a nested loop again. So you can say for variable one colon var. Okay. So each time you are going to take the value. Okay. So each time you are going to take the value. Okay. So take the value into var. Okay. So in that way you can have the things. So initial statements. Now what exactly we are doing over here? So we are saying array name. So array name means, so suppose array will have three elements. So these three elements will go into var because this is a single dimensional. So here again same thing. Here again same thing. Okay, so in that way the things are going to be handled. Okay, so we'll take one example wherein, okay, so what we'll do, so we will go for it for here we will say what is the data type of array int. Now I will say var one. Okay, anything you can take, of course. Okay, so var one, I will go for array and I will say array. I'll say array. Okay, and inside again I'll write for int var two colon var one. Okay, so colon var one. So and here I will say system dot out of println var two. So you just have some space. Okay, so without taking the ln here, and then here we will go for system dot out println space. Okay, now if you see the output is exactly the same, but how the process is being covered. Okay, so that we will understand. So when you look at this same logic, okay, so here, so here if you observe, okay, so we are going to apply the same logic. But generally what happens, as I told you, so array it is 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so you don't worry about this 0, 1, 2, 3 here, but still you can handle that way. So 4, 5, 9, and here it would be 2, 6, 3, and here it would be 1, 8, 7, and here it would be 8, 0, 5. Okay, so now what we said array. So when you say array, the first one will go into var1. Okay. Now var1 becomes what? So var1 becomes 4, 5, and 9. Okay. Then you are asking this var1, okay, to give each and every value into var one at a time. So var becomes 4 first. So var2 rather. Okay. So var2 becomes 4. So 4, then 5, then 9. Okay, so 4, 5, and then 9. Okay, so var 2 is becoming one at a time. Okay, so in simple words, if I make you understand, so array. So what will array take now? Array will take 4, 5, 9, and second time array will take 2, 6, 3. Third time array will take 1, 1, 8, and 7. Fourth time array will take 8, 0, 5. So first time this will be coming into var1. Now what is var1? So var1 is going to be 4, 5, 9. then it comes inside. Now var1 will give one value at a time. So 4, 5, 9. So 4. Now var2 is how much? 4. So you are printing var2, 4. 4 with space. 4 with space. So then next time it will print 5. Next time it will print 9. Okay. So then again one iteration is over. Next time it will take 263 into consideration. Okay. So 263. So first time 2 will be printed, next time 6 will be printed, next time 3 will be printed. So like that, the things are going to be taken into consideration. Okay. So hope you have understood. So this is the way that we have uh, the for loop and the uh, for each. So this is called for each loop. For each loop is used to access all the elements but without using any index. So here you are not using any index. As you are not using any index, so you are going to have all the elements. Okay, so all the elements without having any index. So that's how we will deal with the for each loop. Okay, so for each loop, right? So this is introduction.
ఒక ఎలిమెంట్ ని యాక్సెస్ ఒక రో ని యాక్సెస్ చేయాలంటే వేరే దాంట్లో ఎలా యాక్సెస్ చేయాలి?
ఒక ఒక రో తీసుకుంది, ఈ రో మొత్తం దీంట్లో వెళ్ళిపోతుంది.
ఓకే సార్.
వన్ రో ఎట్ ఏ టైం వెళ్తుంది అనమాట. ఒక రో వెళ్తుంది. సో ఈ రో వెళ్ళిన తర్వాత ఈ రోని ఇక్కడ ప్రింట్ చేసిన తర్వాత నెక్స్ట్ రో. సో వన్ రో ఎట్ ఏ టైం ఇట్ విల్ కమ్. ఓకే. ఓకే. సో ఇది basic ideology. So in our next session, we will be going with some programs. Okay. So meanwhile, you can just go through this idea. Okay. Okay. Thank you.
థ్యాంక్ యూ సార్.
Okay.